How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about something that a lot of people are confused about. And a lot of people are confused about the value of Firefly. And do you really need her on your account right now? Because I know there's a lot of showcases, including mine, that have just showed her absolutely wrecking havoc on only MOC, Apocalyptic Shadow, and kind of Pure Fiction, I guess you could say. And today we're going to be looking at your account. We're going to be looking at what you exactly need. We're going to be talking about the meta and all that's regards to a unit's value right now, because yes, we have been shifting towards a couple different things when it comes to certain characters being meta relevant at the moment. Of course, what they're pushing at the moment, with Ruame being out, with HMC being a recent addition to the roster, with Buhil already have coming out, and also Firefly as well, we're seeing that they're building out this break effect meta similar to the way they've been doing dots and similar to the way they've been doing follow-up attacks, which is overall a really good thing. Having another playstyle is always 100% a welcome addition to the game as soon as possible, because it just allows more people to have fun with a different style of play than a normal DPS or a traditional DPS would have. So today we're looking at Firefly, and we're looking at, is she still valuable? Is she worth to be on your account? Is there any substitutions and all that type of stuff? Now, 100% when looking into Firefly, you do have to have her team, which her team isn't too hard to get. It's going to be HMC 100%. That's one of her best in slot teammates, because he provides not only break effect on Eidolons, but also break effect on ultimate, and not only that, super break as well on his ultimate as well. Not only that, we have to look at having Gallagher as well built up, and I do suggest having E2 Gallagher, because E2 Gallagher does give you a cleanse, which is very, and I mean very much needed when it comes to a lot of the enemies that we have at the current moment, and also as sustain, kind of want to really have this as well. And not only that, it gives you a break effect bonus as well when it comes to his ultimate, so that's something that is very important for Firefly as well. And then not only that, Ruame is such a pivotal portion of her team. I know a lot of showcases just show Ruame and also Firefly together, but the question is, why wouldn't you run them together in the first place? I know a lot of people are wondering why they're always glued together, and it's just because the synergy that they have together when it comes to not only delaying the enemy for the super break, when it comes to allowing Firefly to break the toughness bar way quicker, giving Firefly a speed bonus, giving Firefly break effect. That's all very important to her, and all welcome boosts to her kit, which allow her to do so much more damage that there'd be no reason not to run Ruame with Firefly. So unless you have Ruame, or you are looking to pull Ruame first, I would 100% say that this is a much needed unit on the team, and a unit that would be really great to have, not only for your account for the investment wise, but for Firefly as well. So that's why you see everybody using it. There's just too many synergies that they have together with the delay, all the boosts that they give, that Firefly really wants Ruame for the most part. So if you don't have Ruame, if you're not interested in getting Ruame, it's going to be a little bit harder to play with Firefly, because she won't be able to break as often. A lot of these break DPSs, for the most part, Buhil included, if they're not broken, you don't get to do a lot of damage. But once they are broken, you get basically one shot, two shots on everything in the game without a doubt. And that's the cool part about it, right? You get to see those big numbers. You get to see some really cool gameplay with the break, which I love personally. It's just super satisfying. But we do have to know that a lot of these break DPSs don't really get any damage at all before they break the beater. That's why something like HMC, something like Gallagher, and also something like Ruame help so much, because not only do they boost that big burst window that you have when they're broken, but also make it a lot easier to be able to break them as well when it comes to their shield being down. And then same thing with Buhil and Firefly having their own toughness efficiency, making it faster to break the shields. You have all those delays coming from those two characters as well. So you want to make sure you do have the proper break team, because for the most part, if there's no point in something like having a Kafka but never building the dot units. That's basically the equivalent of it. Having something like building up a Sampo, you never want to pull Kafka. It's going to be really hard to be able to rock a dot team without her, or be having a dot team without something like Black Swan. It's just in that situation, there's going to be synergies that are kind of hard to not have that character specified for that one team. And another thing I do want to notice is that even though we are in a break meta, even though we're in a portion where the MOC and Apocalyptic Shadows are very heavily, I guess you say, insinuating that you should be getting Buhil or Firefly, it's not 100% needed. A lot of the characters at the current moment are capable of doing these modes. I know someone like Kimiko got a big boost, and I mean a huge boost, from the Eternal Show being one of the sides of MOC, where you have 3 elites, they all share the same life bar, and they all have separate toughness bars. So this means that Kimiko has the potential to break 3 different times and get 3 different follow-ups that all hit all 3 enemies, and not only that, all lower the HP of the whole boss, which is a very strong thing to have. This is absolutely huge for something like Himiko, and a big buff to her if they continue to use the Eternal Show in future MOCs. So there's a character already that's getting buffed by this. Not only is Himiko a good character for that, we have someone like Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan also gets a big boost from that as well, because Lightning Lord, although spreads around, and that's something that we all hate, if they all share a life bar, that means all of the stacks of the Lightning Lord are going into the whole group of enemies. So now you're not only hitting the dude in the middle or even the ones that are adjacent, you're getting so much more damage from the Eternal Show, especially if they have lightning weakness innately. I don't know if they have it innately or not, but if they do have it innately, or you can rock Silver Wolf, Jing Yuan has a big boost from this as well. So there are characters that, even though they're not as a part of the break effect meta, and Jing Yuan also can run the super break build, which has been a really cool thing a lot of people have been running, there has been units that are getting indirectly buffed from the fact that Jing Yuan and Himiko are being able to benefit from the way the Eternal Show works. So it isn't absolutely necessary that you have to get a break DPS to deal with the future MOCs that we're going to be dealing with. When it comes to Boohill, when it comes to having Firefly, having someone like Jing Yuan, Acheron, Celet, what's it called? Who else? Argenti, Himiko. There's been so many additional buffs to certain characters because of the way some of these characters work. And not only that, there's a lot of characters that can actually turn themselves into a break effect build. Like I said, Jing Yuan, with a lot of people testing out super break Jing Yuan, because he has by far the highest toughness reduction in the game with how hard his 10 stack Lightning Lord hits. That is an additional boost to him and his value, because he's able to take use of this break effect meta and turn it into something where he can change his build completely and absolutely dominate alongside someone like Boohill and also Firefly. So it isn't 100% needed to have a break effect DPS or a break DPS in total on your account if you aren't interested in the playstyle. I do think right now they're heavily pushing it the same way they heavily pushed Dot, the same way they heavily pushed follow-up attacks when those were getting built up as well. Whenever Topaz and Ratio came out, whenever Black Swan and Kafka came out, those guys were getting non-stop MOCs, non-stop pure fictions that were allowing them to look a lot better than they were when it comes to not having that buff. So it's the same aspect right now, where we're looking at a MOC, Apocalyptic Shadow, that are catered heavily towards the break effect meta, and we're going to end up moving on eventually into whatever the next meta is, or building out the archetypes as a whole. Because as you remember, we do have Jiao Shou, if I'm not wrong, that's his name, who's going to be Nihility Fire. That might be a big boost on not only Acheron, but possibly even someone like Kafka. So a lot of stuff that we have to wait for. And this is going to be a passing by time, or a passing period, where the break effect DPSs are king, and then we'll start equaling out and leveling out at the current moment. I do think regardless that a lot of the break DPSs like Boohill and like Firefly are definitely going to remain some of the strongest characters in the game for sure, because of how much damage they output with very minimal stats. You can have the crappiest light cone on them, even Boohill with no light cone, and he's able to 2-shot, 3-shot bosses like it's not his business. So it's a really cool thing that these characters are able to do that. But I do think at the end of the day, a lot of these characters will be leveling out at a certain level compared to a lot of the other teams when it comes to Dot, when it comes to break effect, when it comes to follow-ups, or a general DPS. This is going to be a passing period where this archetype is shining, and then we'll end up going to the next thing. So if you already have teams that are able to 36 star, or what is the stars for pure fiction? I have zero idea. But if you're able to clear pure fiction, if you're able to clear MLC, if you can do these without a doubt and you're not having trouble, there's kind of no reason to have FOMO around these break effect characters if you're not already, I guess you could say, building your account up for it. It's the same thing with Dot. It's the same thing with follow-up attacks. There's no reason to summon for these characters if you're not building those teams up, because if you don't enjoy that playstyle, why get those characters? Because then you're just going to be investing a lot of resources, a lot of units into characters you're probably not going to use, and characters that you're not going to have fun using, which is the primary thing you should be looking forward towards, is having the most fun in this game. I love the break effect DPS because they're really cool, they're really fun, and I like seeing big numbers. But I know a lot of other people may like Dot, a lot of other people might like follow-up attacks, and a lot of people might just like regular DPSs like Jing Liu and Dan Heng. So we're definitely going to see more units come out that are either building up the break effect archetype and making it as min-maxy as possible, and then we're gonna eventually get more DPSs that are general, then DPSs or supports for dot, follow up, all that different type of stuff. So there's no reason to worry about missing on these units, because it's just going to be another archetype that you can choose to invest in or not, and this is not going to be something that is going to hinder your account in the long run. We've seen this before with dot, we've seen this before with follow up, and it's just a really nice thing to add to the game, but it's not necessary for everyone's account. Now I do think Firefly is a very strong unit in whole. She has everything that she could possibly need as a break effect DPS that stuff like Boo Hill doesn't have, with constant implant, with having AoE, with having advanced forward. There's a lot of holes that Firefly fills in her own kit that Boo Hill doesn't have innately, which sucks. And there's a lot of other things that with Boo Hill I have a problem with, but he's still a strong unit at the end of the day. So other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to Firefly. The break meta, all the substitutes that we are seeing with other units getting built up and also conforming to the meta as well, like Kimiko and Jing Yuan. And overall, the break effect DPS are just really nice. It's just another archetype that will be shining for the moment and will equal out with the others as time passes. So other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what y'all guys think about the break effect meta. Let me know what y'all think about Firefly, because I am super excited for her to be coming out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.